Hello students, today I will be dealing with tibia bone, general features and its attachments. Tibia is a medial and larger bone of the leg. As you all know, leg is having two bones, tibia and fibula, and it is homologous with, so this is tibia of right side, this is tibia and this is fibula. It is homologous with radius of the upper limb. So this is radius and ulna of right side, this is radius and this is ulna. The difference is tibia is present on medial side while the radius is present on lateral side. This is because there is a rotation during the development of baby. Now parts, as you all know, the long bone has upper end, lower end and shaft. So this is tibia, this is upper end, lower end and shaft. Now the side determination, it is very easy to identify upper and lower end. Upper end is larger as compared to the lower end. So this is the upper end is directed upwards and lower end is smaller than the upper. Upper end is globular and forms the condyle. Now medial malleolus is directed downwards and medially. So you can see in lower end one prominent is there. This is known as medial malleolus, and in medial malleolus it is directed downwards and medially. So it is very easy to identify the superior side, inferior side and the medial side because of this medial malleolus. So this is medial malleolus. Now tibial tuberosity. Tibial tuberosity is present anteriorly. So this is tibial tuberosity. So on the basis of this you can identify the anterior aspect, and this anteriorly the border which is present anteriorly is crest like. So this is anterior border. So on the basis of this this tibia, this is of right side and this is of left side, and likewise you can hold this bone in an anatomical position. Now the features of the tibia. Upper end is having medial condyle, this is medial condyle, then lateral condyle, this is lateral condyle, then intercondylar area. So this is a superior view of tibia. So medial condyle and lateral condyle. In this in between these two condyle, the area is present known as intercondylar area. This one. Now the tuberosity, anteriorly one prominence is there on upper end. This is tuberosity of tibia or tibial tuberosity. We will see one by one. First of all, medial condyle. Medial condyle is larger as compared to the lateral one, and it articulates with medial condyle of femur as shown in this figure, and the articular surface of medial condyle is oval. So this is oval in shape, articular surface is oval in shape. Now the medial condyle is having medial intercondylar tubercle here. This is medial intercondylar tubercle, and one groove is present on posterior aspect, this one. So these are the features of medial condyle. Now the lateral condyle. Lateral condyle overhangs the shaft more than the medial condyle, and it articulates with lateral condyle of femur as shown in this figure, and the articular surface of lateral condyle is nearly circular. So this is lateral condyle and it is near circular. So medial one is oval and lateral one is circular. Lateral intercondylar tubercle, same as that of medial condyle. There is a lateral intercondylar tubercle. Then the postero-inferior articular facet for articulation with fibula. Then a groove is present on posterior side, this one. Now flattened impression anteriorly. In upper photograph you can see this red circle, this blue circle is flattened impression. Now the intercondylar area, it is a roughened area on superior surface of tibia. These are the superior surface, and this red shadow is intercondylar area, and it is narrowest at middle like this. Intercondylar at the middle there is an elevation known as intercondylar eminence here. Now the intercondylar tubercle, as I have already discussed, there are two intercondylar tubercle, medial and lateral. So this is medial intercondylar tubercle and this is lateral intercondylar tubercle. Now the tuberosity of tibia, this is the anterior aspect. On anterior aspect of upper end, one oval prominence, this is tibial tuberosity, and it limits the intercondylar area anteriorly. So the tuberosity of tibia, it is a anterior limit of the intercondylar area, and it continues with the anterior border of the shaft. This is anterior border, black dotted line, and tuberosity of tibia is divided into two areas by this transverse line, upper smooth area and lower rough area. The lower rough area gives attachment to the ligamentum patelli, while the upper smooth area is related with bursa. This is upper smooth area and this is lower rough area, and epiphyseal line passes between these two area. So this red dotted line shows the epiphyseal line of upper end of tibia. Now the shaft on cut section, it is triangular in shape. This is tibia, and on cut section it looks like this. It is having three borders: anterior border, medial border and anterosseous border. So this is anterior border, and this is also called as scene of tibia. This is medial border, this one, and and then the interosseous border towards the fibula, and it is covered with a membrane known as interosseous membrane. It is having three surfaces: lateral surface, medial surface, and posterior surface. So between anterior border and the lateral border or interosseous border, this surface is lateral surface. Between anterior border and medial border, this is medial surface, and between medial border and interosseous border, the surface is posterior surface. So this is posterior surface. Now on posterior aspect, one prominent line is present known as soleal line. So this is this red line is soleal line, this one. On posterior surface below the soleal line is having one vertical ridge which divides the posterior surface into medial and lateral part. This is vertical ridge. Okay, this one. Now lower end, it is slightly expanded. Okay, this one, and having 5 surfaces: anterior surface, posterior surface, medial surface, and lateral surface, and last one is inferior surface. So this is anterior surface, posterior to this is posterior surface, and below is inferior surface which articulates with talus, and on medial side this is medial surface, and towards fibula is lateral surface, this one. The anterior surface is divided into 2 parts: upper smooth part and lower rough part, and inferior, this lower part, it is having different multiple grooves for the tendons of the anterior compartment of the leg, tendons of the muscles present on the anterior aspect of the leg. And on medial surface, one prominence is there known as medial malleolus. So this is medial malleolus. On lateral surface, one notch is present known as fibular notch. So this is lower end of tibia, and lateral side, this one, the oval blue impression is the fibular notch which gives attachment to this fibula, lower end of fibula, or it articulates with the fibula here. Now the attachments on tibia. First of all, attachments on medial condyle. So this is posterior aspect of tibia, upper end of tibia. It gives attachment to capsule of the knee joint. So capsule is attached on the upper border of the condyle, and just below the capsule, this is capsule, and below this there is attachment of insertion of semimembranosus. So this is semimembranosus attached on the groove on posterior aspect of the medial condyle. And on medial side, there is the attachment of, there is a ligament known as tibial collateral ligament. This is tibial collateral ligament. Another attachment is, this is medial patellar retinaculum. So there are 2 lamina of medial patellar retinaculum as shown in this figure. Now the attachments on lateral condyle. This is anterior aspect. On the lateral condyle, flat impression gives attachment to tibial iliotibial tract. So this is attachment of iliotibial tract. On posterior aspect, there is attachment of capsule of the superior tibiofibular joint, and one bursa is present inside the muscle tendon of popliteus muscle. This is bursa and this is tendon of popliteus muscle. Now the attachments on intercondylar areas. So these are the superior view of condyles of tibia showing intercondylar area. Here there are attachments of three things: medial lemniscus, lateral lemniscus, and cruciate ligament. This blue oval area gives attachment to medial meniscus. Anterior one is anterior horn of medial meniscus, posterior one is posterior horn of medial meniscus. This green oval area shows the attachment of cruciate ligament. Anterior one is anterior cruciate ligament, posterior one is posterior cruciate ligament. And then this blue line shows the attachment of lateral meniscus. Anterior one is anterior horn of lateral meniscus, while the posterior one is posterior horn of lateral meniscus. And this attachment can be remembered by a mnemonic, that is Medical College Lucknow and Lucknow Medical College. Okay. Now the attachments on tuberosity. Tibial tuberosity gives attachment to ligamentum patellis. So this is ligamentum patelli. Now attachments on shaft. This is anterior aspect. This area gives attachment to tibialis anterior, the lateral surface. On upper part of medial surface gives attachment to this inverted hockey saped is insertion of sartorius, then insertion of gracilis, then insertion of semitendinosus, and lastly there is attachment of tibial collateral ligament. You must remember this four structure here: sartorius, gracilis, semitendinosus, and tibial collateral ligament. On posterior aspect, one membrane is there known as interosseous membrane attached on interosseous border of tibia and fibula. On soleal line there is attachment of soleus, origin of soleus. This is soleus, and just above the soleus or triangular area gives attachment to insertion of popliteus. This is insertion of popliteus, and below the soleal line this one is the origin of tibialis posterior. The lateral side. On medial side it gives origin to flexor digitorum longus. So this is flexor digitorum longus. Now relations of tibia. Lower end of anterior surface of shaft is related with, this is lower end anterior aspect from medial to lateral side. This is tibialis anterior, tendon of tibialis anterior muscle. Then this is extensor hallucis longus. Then one artery is there known as anterior tibial artery. One nerve is there known as deep peroneal nerve. Then again one muscle, that is extensor digitorum, and lastly the peroneus tertius. So the anterior aspect of lower end of tibia is related with, from medial to lateral side, tibialis anterior, extensor hallucis longus, anterior tibial artery, deep peroneal nerve, extensor digitorum, or peroneus tertius. Now the lower end of posterior surface of shaft of tibia is related with from medial to lateral side. This one is tibialis posterior, then flexor digitorum longus, then artery, posterior tibial artery, then tibial nerve, and then flexor hallucis longus. So posterior surface of tibia from medial to lateral side related with tendons of tibialis posterior, flexor digitorum longus, posterior tibial artery, tibial nerve, and flexor hallucis longus. And these relations, anterior surface and posterior surface, can be remembered by a mnemonic. For anterior relation, the hospitals are not dirty places, and for posterior surface, Tom, Dick, and Harry. Okay. Lower 1/3 of medial surface of shaft is related with one vein. This is great saphenous vein. Now the blood supply, the artery or nutrient artery supplying the tibia is largest in the body, and it is a branch of posterior tibial artery. So this artery is the posterior tibial artery, gives the largest nutrient artery. Now ossification, it is ossified by one primary center and two secondary centers. So this is one primary center, appears at the age of 7 week of intrauterine life, and these are the two secondaries area for the upper and lower end. Upper end appears at the age just before the birth and fuses with a shaft between 16 to 18 years, and secondary center for lower end appears at the age of 1 year, and it forms medial malleolus at the age of 7 year and fuses with the shaft at the age of 15 to 17 years. Now the applied aspect, one is the acute osteomyelitis. Tibia is most common bone affected by the osteomyelitis. So this is the X-ray showing the osteomyelitis. So this is the area of inflammation. Now the fractures, tibia is fractured at the junction between upper 2/3 and lower 1/3 commonly. So this is the common site of fracture, the tibia. Now the Pott's fractures, as shown in this figure, there is fracture of medial malleolus and fracture of lower end of fibula and fracture of, this is deltoid ligament, fracture of deltoid ligament. So in the Pott fractures there are three things: rupture of deltoid ligament, fracture of medial malleolus, and lower end of fibula. Now, tibia is common bone used for graft harvest. In this photograph you can see the yellow area is the area from where the graft can be taken and harvest in somewhere else, required place. So this is all about tibia, and keep revising it. Thank you.